Qutb Shah. Makkah Masjid was planned during his reign. Under the rule of Sultan Abdullah Qutb Shah, son of Muhammad Qutb Shah and Hayat Bakshi Begum, the Telugu kingdom expanded all the way from Ganjam in the north to Chennai in the south. Meanwhile, Aurangzeb, the son of the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, marched from Delhi and became the governor of the Deccan, waiting for an opportunity to attack Golconda. Defeated by force, Aurangzeb resorted to deceit. One of Sultan Abdullah Qutb Shah's trusted men betrayed him. Aurangzeb captured Sultan Abdullah Qutb Shah and made him a prisoner in his own fort. Abdullah Qutb Shah's mother, Hayat Bakshi Begum, strategically proposed a treaty to Aurangzeb. In return for freedom from captivity and continuing his rule over Golconda, Abdullah Qutb Shah gave Aurangzeb's son, Muhammad Sultan, the estate of Ramgir and also accepted him as his son-in-law. Abdullah Qutb Shah passed away in 1672. His son-in-law, Abul Hassan, popularly known as Tana Shah, was made the Sultan of Golconda. Abul Hassan appointed able Hindu ministers to important posts in the government. Two of them were Brahmin brothers, Akanna and Madanna. Maratha ruler Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj visited Golconda twice during the reign of Abul Hassan. In the year 1672 and then in the year 1677. Sensing Aurangzeb's bad intentions, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj extended his support and helped Abul Hassan in his fight against Aurangzeb. Sultan Abul Hassan communicated directly with his people. One day, Sultan reached Kuchipudi village in the Krishna region. The villagers welcomed him by performing their traditional dance. The Sultan was overjoyed and named the dance Kuchipudi. Madanna's nephew, Pencharla Gopanna, was appointed the Tehsildar of Bhadrachalam. As an ardent devotee of Lord Sri Ram, he renovated Ramchandra Mandir for his deity at Bhadrachalam. In this endeavor, he utilized some funds from the state treasury. Angered by this, Abul Hassan Tana Shah imprisoned him in Golconda Fort. Legend has it that Lord Sri Ram appeared in a dream of Sultan Abul Hassan and returned the amount taken by Gopanna to the Sultan in the form of gold coins, thus securing the release of his devotee. Since then, Kancharla Gopanna has become famous as Bhakta Ramadasu. This unique story of devotion to Lord Ram is now part of the folklore in southern India. His devotional songs gained fame as Ramdasu Kirtan and became an integral part of Carnatic music. The fact that Abul Hasan Tana Shah was helping Bijapur fight the Mughals and was also appointing many Hindu ministers was enough to enrage the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. He sent the Mughal army to Golconda, led by his son. After 8 months of fierce battles, his army managed to enter the fort deceitfully. The treasury of Golconda was looted. The Hindu ministers Madanna and Akanna were beheaded. Not only this, Abul Hasan Tana Shah was imprisoned in Kala Mahal of Daulatabad's fort. He died in jail. And with this, the Qutub Shahi dynasty came to an end. Aurangzeb appointed Asaf Jahi as the Subedar of Golconda, who went on to rule Hyderabad independently by the name of Nizam-ul-Mulk. Once the symbol of pride and regal opulence, Golconda's walls, minarets and buildings were riddled with wounds inflicted by the Mughal rulers. However, the truth is that time heals the deepest wounds. Royalty had its time, but centuries passed and India became independent. In September 1948, Hyderabad and Golconda were freed from Asaf Jahi's rule. Independent India's federal system of governance once again gave Golconda the opportunity to smile. From the high ramparts of time and history, I am gazing upon Golconda. Looking from the pages of the past, once again I see a smiling Golconda, whose rocks have never lost their luster and honor. Golconda, whose crimson red dawn awaits the first shining rays of the sun, which will illuminate these hills of granite, making Fort Golconda shine bright forever.
निकलते हैं वो कोई संग नहीं एक रंग नहीं